Quiz Stunts, a podcast based on LGBT community. Throughout this podcast, we discuss in detail about trending topics surrounding our community. We talk about important news, interesting and inspiring stories, and we also talk about a few people who have had mind boggling experiences. My name is Neville Nazareth, and I will be your host for this entire series. Please don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so you can be notified every time we update a new episode. So, without further ado, let's just dive into our topic. Hey there, friends, and welcome back to the new episode of Quiz Stunts. As you would have already seen in the title of today's podcast, today we're going to discuss about drag culture. Throughout this episode, we're going to talk about what is drag culture. We're going to talk about the history of drag. We're going to mention to you about is it really a one gender job? We're going to clear out some misconception we have regarding drag. We're going to talk about RuPaul's Drag Race, about a destination where you can experience drag yourself in Mumbai, and we're going to end by giving you a hint on what is going to be our next topic. So without further ado, let's just dive into our topic. To understand drag, you need to understand one thing. Being a trans person and being a drag artist is a completely different thing. While a trans person dresses up as the opposite gender from which they were born because they feel that they belong to the other gender, wherein in drag culture, usually a man dresses up like a woman and vice versa, is because of entertainment purposes. So, it is not important that a drag king or a drag queen has to be homosexual or a trans person. It usually is based totally on basis of entertainment power, on how they want to perform, what they want to perform, and it is more about being from a different gender rather than feeling like they're the one. So now that we have that part cleared, let me talk to you a little bit about how drag culture started. So in the olden times, it was difficult for man to see a woman perform because of the restrictions imposed by the female's family. So, a small solution to this was found, and that was men used to dress up like women and perform for these short plays, for these dramas, for dance performances like cabaret, etc. So, this is where the drag trend started. But as society became more and more developed, they started realizing that people who perform drag are behaving a little weirder or different from what they usually are supposed to, and that's when this became a taboo. Now that we live in the 21st century, it is still considered to be a taboo, which even we thinking how can we process that information. So the major reason why drag kings and queens are condemned in our society today is because of the LGBT community not being established. So usually it is also a misconception that people who perform drag are usually from the LGBT community. But honestly speaking, a drag king or a drag queen can be of cisgender as well, can be a heterosexual as well. It is just a performing arts and it has nothing to do with somebody's sexuality or sexual identity. Talking about drag being an art form where, it's therapeutic. Because when you perform drag, you completely transform yourself. So usually when you look at your mirror, you look at this one image of yourself and you're pretty much okay with that because you've been living with that image for a very long time now. But when you dress up in drag and you transform into a different gender altogether, the characterization, the makeup, the costume works like magic. Trust me, it's a therapeutic experience. Because suddenly, when you look at yourself in front of the mirror, you see some other person there. And automatically, somehow some magic happens and you start being that person while you're in that attire. So, a lot of drag kings and queens have said it themselves that whenever they are in drag, they feel like they are different people from who they normally are. So, people who are introvert, shy, people who don't like to talk much, even when they are into their drag outfits, suddenly they become that extrovert person or that person they wanted to become from a very long time but were restricted due to their normal appearance. So yes, it is a correct thought that drag culture and performing drag is a therapeutic experience. Talking about what is RuPaul Drag Race now. So initially, Being a drag, as I said, was a huge stigma in our society. But did you know what changed it? It was just one show hosted by one man, and he is obviously from the community, from the LGBT community, but he has represented the drag culture so well that even when he is in drag today, people will not actually identify him. And yes, we talking about RuPaul. So RuPaul Drag Race has a lot of fun elements in them, which has attracted people all over the US and now all over the world to learn, love, and respect drag culture. So if I say terms like sashay away, or if I say lip sync for life battle, you directly go into that vision where two drag queens are performing to a music, they are lip syncing, they are being their best, and the one who loses gets sashay away. So thanks to RuPaul, drag culture has indeed become one of the best performing aspects in the entertainment industry today. Going further, now it's time I spill out some beans and tell you where you can experience drag culture yourself. And this is somewhere very close in Mumbai. Actually, it is totally in Mumbai, and it is called as Kitty-Soo. So recent news tells me that Kitty-Soo is available in cities like Mumbai, Bangalore, and Delhi all over India. But Mumbai has the best drag queens and drag kings available. For example, I remember watching the majestic Maya the drag queen. I remember watching Rani Kohinoor, Lush Monsoon, Beta Nonstop, and Tropical Marker. So this was all about a drag culture and drag community, and it's a small suggestion that if you really want to understand this art form, if when you get an opportunity to become a drag artist, to at least try doing drag for once in your lifetime, don't think about anything else and just go and take it. So the time is near for me to introduce what is going to be my next topic of discussion. So this time I've decided to not go forward and announce what the topic is, but I'll give you some hints which are sure to make you realize what my next topic is going to be about. So, in our society, there are specific genders who are only allowed to wear clothes which are thought as a suitable option for that gender. There are some men and women who have been breaking this stereotype for the longest time now, and they've been coming in front of the media to show them that you decide what you wear and not the society. But a lot of people haven't accepted it yet. For example, people like Ellen DeGeneres and Ranveer Singh are usually accused with these allegations that they don't dress appropriate. Even Karan Johar, for that matter, is now considered that he dresses extravagantly. Which for me is like, dude, who are you to judge? So I think you would have already got a hint of what my next topic is going to be. Or else I'm sure if you would have already been following my podcast series, you'll see the next topic now, because I'm sure it would have been uploaded as well. So let's just think that you understand what the topic is, and I hope it gets you interested in listening to that podcast. So to be updated about all my podcasts, about interesting things happening with people, about topics which are surrounding the LGBT community, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast series so that you can be updated every time we update a new podcast. So without further ado, here is a farewell for you guys, and please do like and share it with your friends whom you think will relate to this content. And if you have some suggestions on what we can do next, do let us know. We will be more than happy to entertain that. So have a wonderful time, guys. Bye bye and take care.